For the past several years, Hawaii has had the largest rates in homelessness among all other states in America. With around 480 homeless per 100,000 people, it is the nation's highest rate per capita. You can find a homeless camp just about anywhere, from streets in various towns, to beaches, to parks, and even under highway bridges. In 2016, a Christian church, First Assembly of God, began a new ministry to help the homeless people and families in Oahu. In the spring of 2018, they received permission from the state to build igloo-shaped dome shelters for the homeless, which is currently being built on the church's windward property. I went inside one of the homeless shelter domes to interview the man in charge of the project, Pastor Daniel Kaneshiro.
Homelessness is such a big problem for the state of Hawaii, and we know that there's people out in the streets that we see every day. But what we like to think is that although we're initially going to impact 9 families, the children that are going to make a difference in their lives is something that's going to be significant. We cannot be all things to all people, but our target are the innocent children, and we'll just change them one at a time. You know, there's a story about starfish, where this little kid was throwing all these hundreds of starfish back into the ocean. And someone asked him, "Why are you doing that?" And his response was, "For this one that I just threw in, it made a difference." So we want to make a difference in a small way, but in a sense, each child's life is very important.
So, why did First Assembly of God decide to start this homeless shelter project?
Well, several years ago, our senior pastor, Ko, was approached by the mayor along with many other pastors to see how the churches could help. And at that time, they were asked to put a container on each of the church properties. However, many of them could not respond positively because they didn't either own their own property and were meeting in school cafeterias, or they had schools on their campus and that would be a liability. So Pastor Ko, after praying, was downloaded this idea of creating shelters. So as he was Googling the shelter, he came across the vendor Intershelter that produces these domes. And at that point, he felt that this was the direction that God wanted him to lead. And so thus began the journey of getting these authorized to house the homeless in Hawaii. The first shelter project will be located at our Kahalu region, where we will have 12 domes. 2 of the domes would be targeted for restrooms, and each one would be divided into 3 with shower, sink, and toilet. 1 would be for resident manager, and the remaining 9 would be for single women with children. Now, the participants are not off the street. They have to be vetted by IHS, and they have to be drug-free, alcohol-free, mentally stable, and also want to know and understand that this program is a faith-based program, and we believe that God is the center of the change in their life. They will be allowed to stay in the dome transitional housing for about 9 to 12 months. It is our intention that as soon as they arrive, although we'll be mentoring them on social skills, spiritual growth, etc., that we want to place them in permanent affordable housing as soon as possible so that their space can be freed up for other families as well. Okay, so the program at the shelter would include personal growth series. When we say personal, it's how to handle their finances as a single woman with children, how to maximize their meals, how to do a budget. We're also going to talk about integration into the workforce, skills training, resume writing, etc. But more importantly, there's a spiritual aspect where we'll show them that God, being the center of change, can really bring a positive outlook to their life.